through this medium. And I mean, it's a pleasure. It's a
Oh,
privilege.
fantastic. Well, to get started, I just thought it would be great if you could just explain how you got to the point of starting your organization and then sharing a little bit about what your organization does.
So, as you've already mentioned, we are known as Catalyst, and Catalyst started as, the story of Catalyst started about 14 years back. It didn't even have a name. So my wife and I both came from a corporate background. We both were working in different companies, and I'd worked for some large nonprofits before. But one thing that really both of us had this call or urge that a lot happens, from proposal to report. But that journey does not really translate on the ground realities. So both of us had this urge to do something which is more hands-on, and we started to research in the city of Delhi to figure out what are the missing pieces, or what are the gaps that exist that not the government or not the civil society is fulfilling. And through that research, or doing that research, actually got us to what we call as the grassroots, to really know what the reality of the city is. And I mean, how we started is a really it's not a funny story, but it's a very simple story. We would just hang out with kids who are on the streets, just little kids. You've been to India, so you know how the situation is. Every stoplight would have a few kids who are asking for help in terms of money. So we just hung around with them, tried to make relationship with them, and through those kids, through the relationship that we made with those kids, we were invited to the community that they belong to. And going into those communities, again building our relationship further, we found out what are the actual needs that the city of Delhi needs. And that's how our journey started. So we never decided that what we should do for them, but we always invited them to tell us, how what they want, or how can we help. And that's how the journey of Catalyst started.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think that's a great thing to be able to listen to the needs of people instead of telling them this is your solution, to be able to understand the situation first and to be able to listen to those needs and then accommodate. I think I mean, that's a huge thing of making an impact. And that really stuck out to us when we first visited. And I think that visiting your organization and visiting you in Delhi really helped shape how Sparrow wanted to get involved. Because when we first started Sparrow, we came to you before we even had our full idea of how we were going to connect with nonprofits. And I think our mindset was, okay, how can we come and how can we make an impact and how can we do those things? But then seeing your incredible work and seeing like, hey, there are already leaders in existence who are doing incredible things. And it made us realize, like, one, we're not here to do our own thing and solve everybody's problems. We need to listen to the people who are knowing best, and how can we come alongside of them and collaborate and support and just be a cog in this system to really make a change on the issue of human trafficking and on the issues of community development. So yeah, we just love your vision and the way that you approach how you serve people. I think that's really an awesome thing.
And I would say it's really humbling in a way for you to really get this idea, because a lot of times what we struggle with nonprofits is being in competition rather than being in collaboration. And
Yeah.
everybody is trying to find their own piece rather than looking at the bigger picture. So it's commendable that Sparrow has come alongside, look from that perspective of collaboration rather than being another organization that is competing for the resources.
Yeah, and I think that we're very thankful that you kind of inspired that in us. I think your organization does a great job with that. And yeah, we're just super thankful. So one other thing I wanted to chat about is one of the programs that we really support and a lot of our donations go towards is the C3 program. Can you touch on that for us?
Absolutely. So C3, or C cube, stands for Critical Care Center. And Critical Care Center is like a home that serves the children who are just rescued from uh, from sex work or sex slavery or prostitution. So this is one place where they would be brought in right after the rescue. Now let me tell you, before I tell you what we do, I'll tell you why we do this. Um, when we were again listening to the voice of the city to find out what is the new thing that we need to get involved in, one of the things that came across to us was the Delhi is one of the hubs of human trafficking. Not just the hub of human trafficking, but we figured out through data and other researches that when you go and rescue a girl, she's actually been rescued once or twice before. So, about 60 to 70% of the girls are such that who've been rescued before. So that means there is re-trafficking happening. So you rescue a girl, you send her back to her home, and then she's again being rescued. So basically, what was happening was rescue was actually refueling the work of trafficking because one
Yeah.
girl was being sold multiple times. So to figure out why was this happening, we came across this one missing piece, which was the initial stabilization of a child. So now, for when we say a child, anybody who's under the age of 18 is considered a child. So imagine a girl who's 12, 13, 14, who's been brought into this profession and has been forced into something like this, has a very severe trauma. A lot of times we do not understand how trauma impacts our thinking process, but it
Mhm.
makes a huge difference. And when you think that you'd be able to get a girl out of this whole thing and without addressing her trauma or even identifying her trauma and what therapy she would need, you would want to send her back or try to rehabilitate her. It will not happen. So critical care center actually stabilizes a child in all three perspectives, be it physical, be it mental and emotional, and psychologically we bring in our psychologist and try and identify exactly what trauma a child is going through. So emotional, physical, and mental stabilization is done at critical care center before the child is sent for a long-term rehabilitation. At C3, we also pursue rescues. So we have our intelligence team that would go and look at where the children are being brought in, and through our intelligence, we would work with the crime branch of Delhi police and try and do these rescues. Uh, Critical care center not only provides that initial stabilization, but we walk with the child all through the journey of the till the time that she is fully rehabilitated. So unless we are sure that the child will not be re-trafficked, we walk with that child. So our staff would keep constant connections, we'll keep getting reports from the long-term partners, and so on and so forth. So that's what critical care center does. It is the missing piece between rescue, repatriation, rehabilitation. So we kind of stabilize and make sure that the child is in a state of mind where she can take the right decisions for her life.
Absolutely. That's awesome. I think it's such an important thing to be able to fill in that gap because one thing that Sparrow really focuses on with our partners is finding things that are effective and long-term effective. They're not just short-term solutions. And the critical care, the C3 program is what really guarantees that people are not getting re-trafficked. So it's long-term solutions. And I've gotten to see this facility firsthand. I've gotten to be there. I've gotten to meet some people like we've gotten to go to Nepal and meet girls who have been they've been repatriated, they're in a healthy place, and they're thriving after being rescued through the C3 program. So being able to firsthand see the impact that you guys are making is really incredible. And along with that, just a small plug to everybody who's watching. In 2021, hopefully, or in 2022, whenever countries open back up, we're going to be offering our social tourism trips. So to be able to go and to be able to see firsthand the impact that your donations are making is going to be an incredible experience. And along with that, we will be doing some tourist sightseeing as well throughout Delhi and in India. So it's going to be a really cool opportunity, and I've gotten to see it. It's a huge blessing to be able to see firsthand. And I just think if you have any interest at all, Abhishek will be there and be able to show you the incredible work that they're doing. So
Absolutely, would love to do that. In fact, um, you've been with us in this journey even before we start, when we were still making partnerships, so the
Hmm.
first time that we went to Nepal was, we were still establishing partnerships, and second time you would actually be able to see, you were able to see the partnerships and meet
Yes.
people who were repatriated. So yeah, seeing firsthand absolutely makes a great difference. And we do not promote voyeurism, but we promote people actually, um, with an intention to see how they have impacted, uh,
Exactly.
and build relationships, not just see the impact, but also have that relationship, that one-on-one relationship, which is very critical.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, that's the reason why we call it social tourism instead of like oftentimes places will call them mission trips, but that gives people the savior mentality that we're going and this 1 week journey for us will change the lives of the whole society in New Delhi. And that's just a false idea. We're there not because we are providing something great by being there. We're there so that we can get our hearts and minds in the right place to understand the incredible work that's going on and to have a time where we can really get behind the incredible work that our partners are doing. So when you can go with that mindset, it's completely different and it's a healthy way to view um, the impact that we're making because it's a partner impact and we do it together. So yeah, I could get on a soapbox about that, but they're gonna be awesome trips. We're really looking forward to doing
Yeah, and
those.
I hope that happens soon. And you guys are able to come back.
Me too. And one thing that I will say is Abhishek is a foodie. He knows how to eat in New Delhi. I've never had such good food. And I was a little wary of Indian food in the first place, but now I'm hooked. So you're going to have a great time. Next thing I wanted to talk through. I just love if you could run me through what kind of challenges that you're facing during this COVID era, whether it be right now or that you've faced in the past or upcoming. What are some things that you're facing, and that would be good to know for our Sparrow partners as they consider giving to Catalyst?
Absolutely, I would share. COVID, when COVID hit us, nobody knew what hit us. It was just like out of the blue, and so Catalyst has a model that is self-sustaining, as you know. We run our businesses so that we can use the profits of our business to run various programs, and of course we have partners like you who keep on supporting us as we grow. So two things happened during COVID. One, our businesses totally shut down. One of our businesses is Catalyst Tours and Hospitality, which actually does a lot of conferences, seminars for our clients, and the profit would actually go into C3 project. That totally shut down. And then obviously, everybody is around the world is struggling in terms of finances. So the giving also came down. But the human trafficking did not come down. There was a
Hmm.
short period when it wasn't happening, when there was a total shutdown. But as soon as the borders opened, especially between India and Nepal, and even uh, within the country, the human trafficking started happening again. Uh, Another impact that happened during that time was when the brothels got shut and there were no clients. There were still these girls who were inside the brothels, and there were women who were sustaining themselves through this business. They overflowed out of those places and moved out into private prostitution areas or private accommodations, and even we see some on street sides now. So the need increased suddenly, but the overall resources that we had kind of diminished. We've tried our best to keep up to make sure that all the girls who are in our care are properly taken care of, but there are certain things that we had to kind of cut down. So one of the things that we can't do right now are rescues. Intelligence gathering is an expensive work. We are not able to do that. uh, we we were hoping to expand our capacity in 2020, but we were not able to do that. So we've stuck to our capacity. So I'm still thankful that we were able to sustain all the children that we had in our care. But in terms of the need, because it has grown, um, we find ourselves lagging behind in terms of what we could have done if things were normal. So if you think of giving to Sparrow, and and through Sparrow to Catalyst, uh, I would encourage you to think about, because of COVID-19, a lot of people have lost their jobs. A lot of young people who would have sustained themselves through other jobs have lost that. And due to desperation, a lot of people will be getting into traps of human trafficking. And the need in next 2 years would only increase, because in terms, if you look at the economy of India, Nepal, and our surrounding areas, they've been hit really badly. We were at minus 13% GDP. Now we are at minus 8% GDP, and the figures are not going to get better anytime soon. So a
Yeah.
lot of people are losing jobs, and human trafficking traps are becoming bigger and bigger. So
Yeah.
the need will increase in future, and we need to be bracing up for the inflow of kids being rescued in the coming months.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a great time for me to share again. We have an anonymous donor who is matching up to $50,000 of donations from new donors this month. So if you're watching this and you've never donated to Sparrow and you want to donate to the work that our partners are doing, that's what we're here for. We're here to be the U.S. advocates for our partners, collect their donations, and then pass them on. And when your funds are going to us, they're funding incredible projects like Catalyst's work in New Delhi. And one huge thing, like, this is not something where you don't know where your money is going. This is the person that your money goes to, and this is the organization. And I go annually to make sure we have our team go to make sure that the funds are being used as we say they are. And every time I go, I'm blown away by the integrity of our partners, the work that they're doing, and firsthand, we see the stories that we hear about. We see these girls that are being rescued. We see these women being empowered. It's not a story. We're not searching for donations out of pity. We're searching for donations to empower people. And when we can have that as our background, I just want you as donors to know you can feel confident that your money and your resources are going to things that are making sustainable long-term impacts. So again, if you are a new donor to Sparrow, this is the perfect time to give. Your money is doubled this month. Anything that you give is doubled up to $50,000. So
Do thank the anonymous donor for doing that. Matching these donations, and it's a great opportunity for new donors to be part of this incredible journey that Sparrow has taken with all their partners. And from our end, we are assured that whatever money is being raised is actually getting to us, to the project that they are saying that they are supporting.
yeah, absolutely. Oh, fantastic. The last thing I think I'd want to leave you with is if you had one thing that you wanted to tell Sparrow donors that you might not have gotten to tell. I know you've been here and you've talked to some of our base, but this will go out to everybody who's in our mailing list and everybody who likes our social media pages. What's one thing that you would say? What's one thing you'd have to say, whether it's advice or encouragement, anything?
Um, I would say that human trafficking, and especially human trafficking of minors, is a real thing. A lot of times when we listen about it from a distance, um, we think that oh, this is something. But when you actually see a child who's 12, 13, 14 and has been into this trap and has been abused, and once that child is rescued, uh, it's an incredible story. It's actually about a real human life. So whenever you think about you know donating to Sparrow or think about human trafficking, just imagine a child, 12, 13, 14-year-old child who's been into this hell hole, I would say. And what you do today can actually take that child out of that situation. So it's a real thing. Human trafficking is a real thing, and it is an ugly thing. And whatever we can do to stop it should be done.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again so much for joining us. Again, if you are watching this recorded, feel free to send us a message, and I'm happy to connect you with Abhishek to answer any questions, and I'm happy to answer any questions as well. But again, Abhishek, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and have a Merry Christmas, and we hope to talk to you again soon.
Absolutely. Loved it, Jonah. And thank you for arranging this. And thank you, Sparrow, for whatever you're doing to help us here.
Absolutely. Have a great night. We'll talk to you later.
All right.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.